We know The Sound of Freedom was too controversial for mainstream studios to make as a movie. There's a reason for this. It's Hollywood, and Hollywood doesn't want the evil things that it does exposed. And actually, this movie did hit upon that. It was about, of course, child trafficking, which is a very difficult subject to watch. It was a very well done movie all across the board. It hit on every single note emotionally. You can watch my review of the movie on the channel. But they also talked about how a lot of this trafficking came from very rich people in Los Angeles. And they mentioned it a couple times during that movie, and you know exactly what's going on here. This is why they struggled to get it made in the first place. They shopped this movie for years, and of course did not get anywhere with it because these studios didn't want to have this sort of spotlight exposed on what's going on in the world here with the elites. The elites fund all these movies, and you know exactly where it comes from. So it's no surprise that they're having trouble getting it put onto streaming services after a very successful run. This made money off of word of mouth. It was hyper successful. It was packed theaters across the board, even though like theaters didn't want to cover it. Theaters were, of course, messing with the movie. They were trying to get this away from the public eye as much as possible, but people kept going. It was the little movie that could this summer. And while so many others were failing from the big studios, this just kept trucking. It kept making money. But there's a new report that, of course, the streaming services are trying to keep this movie down once again. So they're trying to shop it, of course, to different streaming networks so that people can watch this movie after it's out of theaters here. And here it is. Netflix and Amazon Prime just turned down Sound of Freedom, one of the most popular movies of the year. They do not want the truth about pedowood to come out, says Matt Wallace here. So this is being reported, and of course it is being reported by multiple sources here, that this is happening, and that Sound of Freedom is facing yet another struggle, and that is not going to be able to get onto one of these streaming services. Now, the streaming services have the exact same problem as the rest of Hollywood. We know exactly who funds all these movies and who gatekeeps all these movies across the board. And so we know that The Sound of Freedom, with its very poignant message, is going to be something they don't want, of course, side by side with something like Cuties on Netflix, because Netflix would then have a big whopping problem on its hands as people see the comparison between the two movies and go, what is going on here with these studios? So they have to try to keep it down. Of course, not many people are going to report about this because The Sound of Freedom is just not going to make mainstream press. You know, the mainstream press only covers the things that they think is going to be beneficial for their agenda as well. And the fact that this movie is getting gatekept another time through its history already is another problem. So hopefully somebody does pick this up. I know that there's like a Rumble pay-per-view service that is being talked about in the comments here. And there's other, of course, platforms that hopefully would host this. Maybe the Daily Wire will pick it up and put it on their deal. That'd be smart of them. Who knows? But we'll cover it when it happens so you know where to watch this movie and where you can see it now that it's out of theaters. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.